Hi there, we are at Bullhead City Elks Lodge number 2408. I am Diana Lestat, the lecturing knight, and we are here with our Exalted Ruler, Walt Hans.
It's really good to be with you again, Diane. This has been a great experience so far.
Yep, and we have our special guest, Terri Frank, our Past Exalted Ruler from 2011-2012. And she's here to share with all of you on why she got involved with the Elks and what the Elks are doing today with her.
Thank you for having me. This has been a pleasure. I've been looking forward to it. My first experience with elkdom was when my husband became an elk. We were married in February of '61. He turned 21 in August of '61, and he became an elk.
Wow.
And he did that because where he was a bowler, bowling
Yeah,
pins,
sure.
there was the Elks Bowling League.
Oh.
And they said, you bowl pretty good. We want you to be on our team. Would you want to become an elk?
Oh,
and
my
that's how that all transpired. So my first experience with elkdom was with these lovely people and going to an elk tournament. And we didn't know what to expect. We're newlyweds. We didn't have any money. And they kind of helped us along and kept us in the loop with all the things that were happening. And so that was my first experience. I was in awe, if I might say so. But then as things went on, and he still was an elk member, he always paid his dues. In fact, he and I had always discussed the one thing that you can do is to pay your dues.
Oh.
That was something that you could do. Even if you didn't volunteer, even if you didn't participate, that's one thing that you could do, is pay your dues.
Right.
So,
And that's with Bullhead City. You guys have always been...
no.
Oh, okay.
No. Whittier, California.
Oh, okay.
Now you got to understand, there's Elks lodges everywhere.
Right.
The United States and its territories have, I'm going to say, approximately 1,800 or so Elks lodges.
Right.
And so anywhere you go with your card, with your membership card, you can enter. It's just a wonderful feeling. Anyway, back to the beginning. So we didn't really do much until we retired and moved to Bullhead City because we were both working. We raised 2 children. And it as you see today, today's families have 2 jobs.
Right.
Always,
Right.
if not 3. So it's difficult to devote your time. So when we did retire in 1997, we took our first trip to Alaska, but then the Exalted Ruler at the time needed a chaplain. And that Exalted Ruler played a ploy on me.
Oh, we never, Exalted Rulers never do that. Now, why would you even assume that?
Well, he said to me, and this was Cole Unger, in case you wanted to know, do you think your husband would like to be the chaplain? Well, knowing nothing about the Elks in their stations, and I'm thinking, oh, he's going to get close to God. This is wonderful. I think that would be great. Well, then he goes to my husband and says, your wife said it'd be okay. So that's how we got initially involved.
Okay.
And
Now, I know Fred is your husband, your past husband, and he's got his names all over this lodge. He's done an awful lot for this lodge over the years since he's been in Bullhead. Not only has he been officers, but all the stuff that he's donated to the lodge and things like that. So we really are indebted to him for him being here before us. So it's kind of neat. If you ever met him, I think we would have probably been really impressed with him. So.
well, if you were to prick his finger, it would drip purple.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah.
At any rate, so when we first got here, he in his profession he was a police officer.
Okay.
So in the time, I believe there was a police officer. Either he was sitting leading night or loyal night, one of the two.
Yeah.
And they became instant friends because their professions. He was a retired policeman, and so was Fred.
Oh,
and
okay.
so it was just a natural.
Yeah.
And of course, the first thing that they get involved in is drug awareness.
Okay, yeah.
And because I'm the spouse, and because I was willing to help,
Yeah.
I became involved in drug awareness.
Yeah, okay.
And it was very interesting. At the time, marijuana was not legal. And they had lots of literature on the various drugs. And one of the things that I really am proud of, and I think it's even still happening today, is the schools are asked to draw a caricature, a cartoon about
For the coloring books.
the drug awareness theme at the time. And they enter this contest, and we as lodges are excited.
Yeah.
And if the kid's drawing is accepted, and this book is how many pages? 20
Well, there's
pages?
20 pages, I would say, easily.
So out of this 1,800 lodges, and all of the schools that we touch, we were just excited if one of our, even the state,
Right,
would
right.
get into that coloring book.
Yeah.
And it was very poignant. In fact, in today's world, the Women's Auxiliary of the Elks had the women's shelter come.
Oh.
And I introduced them to the drug awareness coloring book because that subject had come around with the children that come into. And I thought, well, this would be really good for the women that are bringing their kids.
Sure.
Right.
And it was a great message.
Right.
And oh my goodness, I practically brought her to tears.
Yeah.
She was so grateful to get that. And so we gave her a handful. It wasn't all, I think it was all that we had at the
Yeah.
time. So then that was the beginnings of things. And then when we went on vacation after my husband had completed his Exalted Ruler year, he said, you should become an elk because I'm going to want to visit all the Elks lodges in the surrounding area wherever we're going to go.
Yeah.
And I want you to be with me. And I nearly fainted dead away, but yes, I said yes. And then as time went on, it was like, well, do you think I ought to go through the chairs? Do you think I should? And, it took him a while.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I can see you as an Exalted Ruler, and I'll be here to help you. I will help you every step of the way.
Right, right.
Well,
Okay.
remember, my time was 2011.
Yeah.
He passed away in 2010.
Oh, wow.
It was a very scary time for me because I was leading night,
Yeah. Yeah.
kind
Wow.
of left alone.
Yeah.
It was scary, but lots of folks rallied around.
Right.
Not only the officers that were sitting the current chairs, but many of the members, and they really helped me and guided me and made me feel confident enough that I could do it.
Well, tell us a little bit about what you did as an ER, though. I mean, you did something that was pretty spectacular that hasn't been done in this lodge for maybe one time when it came to the All-American contest, right? Or the All-American Lodge?
Which one is that?
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Well,
Because this is a very special lady right
No,
here. That you just,
I-
yeah.
the
You don't have to tell me.
All-American Lodge. Now,
But you were the Exalted Ruler at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Yes.
Yes, you were.
Yes. Well, see, you get it after the fact.
Sure. You get the next year when
Yes.
you're out of office.
Anyway, I believe that there's only 6 of these awarded each year nationwide.
Yeah.
And so to get one is really meaningful.
Yeah. For sure.
Now, my predecessors, bless them, they made sure that we did all the programs, meaning the drug awareness, the Americanism, the hoop shoot, the soccer shoot, the coloring book
Coloring
contest,
book, drug
the
awareness,
essay, and the Americanism. just all of
all
those
the veterans,
things.
all the other stuff we do.
And so
You know,
I
Mother's
was-
Day is part of that now.
I was duty bound to keep
Yeah,
it up.
that was crazy. I couldn't
I
believe
was
it. Yeah.
duty bound to keep it up.
Yep.
And, you know, with the Easter egg hunt,
Yeah.
you know, all of the things that the Elks do. And some of these things I have mentioned sound lofty, but when you get right down to it, the coloring book children, we go to the children and ask them to participate. We go to the children for the hoop shoot, and the participants in the hoop shoot can get their name honored in the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Nesmith.
Right.
And soccer shoot wasn't quite as lofty, but nevertheless,
Right.
it was a nationwide event.
Yeah.
And the other things that the lodge itself did, Easter egg hunt. We got food baskets for the needy, which we still do
We
today.
still do
and we
today.
still do the Easter egg hunt today.
We still do the Mother's Day.
And
All the veteran
Mother's Day,
programs.
right,
Yeah.
and the veteran, oh yes, my goodness, the veterans programs,
Yeah.
yes. We have a wonderful gal here who does the breakfast for once a month and raises money for veterans. And so, I mean, I'm very proud to be an Elk.
Yes.
Yes.
I think we all are. I mean,
think so.
you know, even with me, the first person that actually took me into their arms as an Elk was her and her current husband. I was sitting there and I walked over, and I think it was me or you. You came up to me probably and said, "Hey, would you guys come sit with us?" And because we were all by ourselves, my wife and I, we were just brand new.
Well, it's because I knew your wife first.
Well, I figured that.
We had, again, the ladies had an event.
Right.
And Kathy kind of snuck in,
Yeah.
and she started winning things. You know, you have raffles,
Yeah.
and she was embarrassed because she won 2 or 3 of the
Oh,
raffles. So I knew her, and then you came in
Yeah.
with her.
Yeah,
Thank
but I mean,
goodness.
it's just one of those things with Elks. It doesn't matter where you're from, who you are. We all just open our arms and we all just come into one family.
Yeah.
We give each other a hug, and it's just a great experience.
Oh, speaking of hugs.
Yes. You're
That
going to
was-
complain
that
about
was-
that time I lifted you up, right?
No, I'm not. I was really surprised.
Okay.
The first time I came into this lodge, and I was greeted by this lady. The second time I saw her, she's giving me a hug.
Yeah.
And I was kind of, whoops,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But then I began to expect it.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to give them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm a hugger.
It's
Yeah,
a
that's the
good
thing about
family.
Elks.
Yep.
Yep.
We are huggers. Just like I think the first time I met you,
Yeah.
I think I came up and I go, "Oh, hi, you're."
Yep.
Yeah.
Big bear hug. Yep. It's all good.
So-
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it really is all good. It
Yeah.
really is.
Well, tell me a little bit about the public. I mean, the Past Exalted Rulers and that program that you're involved in now with some of the stuff that they're doing on their side of it.
Okay. Well, the first thing that comes to mind is the service pins.
Yes.
And I mentioned in the beginning that one of the best things you can do is to pay your dues.
Yep.
Just pay
Yeah.
your dues. Well,
Yeah.
the Elks will honor a person who has been a member in good standing for 10 years with a little service pin. Oh, for 15 years. Oh, for 20, for 25, for 30, for 35. We have 2 Elk members this particular go-round, 60 years.
Wow.
They've paid their dues
Wow.
for 60 years. They've been a member in good standing
Yeah.
for that amount of time. Now, last year we had a gentleman who was a 65-year member.
Wow.
And him I knew personally.
Yeah,
So
wow.
it's very exciting to see these people that sometimes you know them intimately, and sometimes you know them in passing, and sometimes you don't see them.
Yeah.
But everyone has their reason
Yeah.
for becoming an elk.
Yeah.
And they all come together and they share their stories. And
I think that's the best part about it is sharing the stories, because I really look forward to this year because of those 60-year members like she's talking about. I know of one that's in the lodge almost every Wednesday and Friday. And I just want to sit down with him and spend, 20, 30 minutes just talking about how the Elks have changed over the years.
Right.
I mean, we weren't always what we are today. But boy, if you go back into the history, it's really not that far off when you think about it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what's great about the Pen Night. I mean, I encourage everybody to come out for that. That's an Elk, and come down here and experience that for yourself. because they do have some great stories, and they're willing to share their stories with you. So come on down for that event. What day is that?
It is February the 22nd,
Yeah.
a Saturday, and we're having chicken fried steak, which is a
Yeah,
favorite.
you get fed too.
Yeah, you get a dinner.
There's nothing wrong with being fed here.
And it's only $12.
Yeah.
We don't have any entertainment, live band like we usually do.
Yeah.
So,
The entertainment will be the folks getting the pins.
yes.
Yeah.
That is
Very
really what
true.
that's about.
Yes.
Yeah.
What else you guys got going over that side? For the-
Well, let's see. We have, the Queen of Hearts.
Right. That's
It's,
changed
it's
up
a
a little bit.
raffle, and it's a way for us to earn money for the lodge. If we didn't have some way of earning money, we couldn't contribute to the new freezer that's coming in. We couldn't contribute to the carpet that might need changing. We couldn't contribute to, oh dear God, a new roof.
Hey, our roof's okay.
Okay.
Yes.
And air conditioning units, of course, here in our area.
Oh, yeah.
We
important.
depend on those air conditioning units.
Yes.
So there's a way of raising money, and as we raise the money, half of it goes to the lodge anyway, but then we get to keep half.
Right.
And we are able to pay out on the raffle, of course. But it's a great way to be able to help your lodge.
Right. And that's
Yeah,
the
you
thing.
guys.
It's just a matter of supporting all the programs that we do, being a part of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then of
And-
course, like I say with them, I mean the Past Exalted Rulers, they're great sounding boards. You can ask them questions, and they'll, from their experience, and you guys have helped me a ton this year, more than most people would even realize. And I say it all the time, but they're there to help us all, not just the Exalted Rulers. You can go up to these folks and ask them anything, and they'll give you the right, and if they don't know, they'll still steer you in the right direction. So that's what's important. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I did want to bring up is scholarships.
Oh,
Yeah. For sure.
The Elks, and not the Past Exalted Ruler organization. We support that, but the lodge is the one that does the scholarships, and the auxiliary as well. They do their own version of the scholarship, and going out and talking to the kids is like pulling teeth. And if there's any message that I can get to any Elk family, is get your kids to apply. Because there's money left on the table that we're not aware of. And it's very upsetting to see it just sit there and not go to use.
Well, yeah.
But it is even more exciting to find out what these kids really want to do.
Yeah.
And what their intentions are, what their goals,
Their goals
are,
in life.
Right.
what they want to be. And we support that, and the auxiliary, like I was saying, they support more the tech schools. And so, we need carpenters, we need electricians, we need car mechanics. And those things are being supported, as well as four-year colleges, two-year colleges.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great program. I mean, when we bring the kids in here to have them tell us what they do, what they want to be,
Yeah.
it's incredible with some of the.
Yeah.
What we had one gentleman that wanted to be a rocket scientist, and legitimately, we was going to, I think, a IT school, one of those, and we were all just sitting there going, "Wow, there's firefighters. They want to be. It's just everything. Plus, we have the ROTC now
Yes.
that we brought in,
Yes.
and their scholarship, they're getting one this year from us, along with ROTC Officer of the Year. So that's an exciting new
Oh,
program.
that is exciting.
That's coming this year.
That's great.
How about a little bit of the auxiliary stuff that you know about? I
Well-
don't know that much about the auxiliary.
Well, we just had the chocolate festival.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yum, yum.
Gosh.
And
I love that.
all year long, as I was saying, we support a women's shelter. And so at Christmas time, all of us that know how, not me, bring in Afghans that they've crocheted or knitted or quilted,
Okay.
and give them to the shelters. Because sometimes when these women come They come with just the clothes on their back.
Yeah.
And so when they leave the shelter, that blanket is theirs.
Yeah.
So we supply them with in the neighborhood of 30 to 50 blankets a year,
It's incredible.
depending on how
incredible.
handy everybody
Yeah.
is.
That's a great program.
It really is.
Super.
Really, really is.
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, that breaks my heart a little bit when you hear these stories.
Yeah.
And I've heard some of them this year that I did get involved with over the years, but being the Exalted Ruler, yeah, you get involved in a lot of that. So it's a great program. But the gals and the guys that are in that auxiliary, I mean, they're doing a fantastic job for this lodge. They do more than most of the other lodges. I was talking to some of the Exalted Rulers at an event we just went to on Saturday, and some of them don't even have auxiliary.
Oh.
Don't even have it. So it's
Wow.
like they're having to just pick up.
Yeah.
We're fortunate enough to have a real solid base here. For
Yeah,
that.
we
So
do.
we
Oh,
thank
yes.
them a lot.
The auxiliary supplies cake every Friday night
Yes,
for,
I know.
for
Again,
a
this
dollar
doesn't-
amount.
This
Yeah.
doesn't get this
Just
way for free.
$3 for a goodly sized piece of cake, and that's another way we earn money.
Yes.
And so when we are asked to support the Elks as an auxiliary, we give our money to the women's shelter. We give our money maybe to the library. We've done that in the past. And we give our money to, say, Shop with a Cop.
Yeah.
And various things around the community. And then we have money left over. How much money did we give the lodge last year? Do you remember?
$14,000.
Wow.
What an
Yes.
event that was.
Yes.
I was shocked because the check got handed to me, and I was, for the first time, Exalted Ruler. And
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, this is cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so each
They're just giving me money.
Yeah, so each, and of course, in the auxiliary, there's a president, just like there's an exalted ruler, and so they feel duty bound to try and make that figure again.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
all the things that we do with fundraising
Yeah.
It's amazing.
goes towards that.
And nothing really stays in the lodge. You know,
I know.
all of our fundraising, everything, all the funds that come in basically go out.
Oh,
Right.
There's nothing that really
speaking
stays.
of that,
Oh, yes,
how
I
about
do.
Halloween?
Oh, that was awesome.
Oh,
yeah.
wasn't that? Oh, that was. So
Oh,
much
that was
fun.
so much fun. Yep, it sure was.
We
Oh,
had
my
people
gosh.
from Needles. We had people coming in from Havasu.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
The kids, oh yeah. The kids from all our schools showed up. And then, of course, the event that night was just simply huge. The costumes and
Yes.
And the
that
little
was
desserts, and they
huge.
decorated all with them.
And
Yeah.
all of those funds went to the Arizona major projects
Yeah.
for the kids down at the Steel Children's Hospital and the camp.
It was.
So that was
Great
just,
event.
Yeah,
And
great,
then the
great.
entertainment dressed like Alice in Wonderland and the characters. That was great. Oh my
It
gosh.
was all good.
Yeah.
Well, what else
Very
can
good.
you talk about, Terry? Because I know you can talk.
Yeah.
Well, at one time in my Elkdom career,
Yes.
because I can talk, I was public relations for our district.
Okay.
Our district, Arizona has what, 43 lodges?
43 lodges.
And they're split into 4 sections, and the district is now called the North District. And are there still 12?
There's still 12.
Okay, there's still 12.
We're the only ones. We're all 12. Everybody else
Okay.
has got less. so-
I see. And so it was a very informative time in my life. And this is all after, no, it was before I was Exalted Ruler. Because I had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
I didn't know I had to take pictures. And then I didn't know I had to get the names of the people for the newspaper to take them.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, because
Gotcha.
we are all taught or asked that we don't put our light under the
Under-
bushel.
yeah, yeah.
We need to shine. We
Right.
need to show the public, we need to show our friends and family what it is we do.
Right.
Why we are going to the lodge all the time. Why we are spending so much time doing the things that we do.
Right.
And it was very fun to find out the various lodges and their projects and what they did. And then there's the few lodges that I could not get them to talk to me, or they wouldn't respond. I would have to call them on the phone or know them personally and talk to them. But they wouldn't report to me in the usual fashion.
Right.
Well, I found out that this one lodge, and I believe it was Winslow, that they went out periodically and cleaned up people's yards. They couldn't do it.
Wow.
Keep the neighborhood looking nice.
Yeah. Wow.
So, these are fun things that you find out about that,
Right.
well, why didn't you tell me about this?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And why doesn't your community know about this? Because if at my time, Winslow, Arizona, their major fundraising Elk Lodge was through bingo.
Oh, not through the Eagle song? No, I'm kidding.
But they had bingo, and nobody else around,
Yeah.
had bingo. And so they were the game in town.
Yeah.
And so they were well supported.
Yeah.
So I guess, I don't know, they didn't feel they had to report anything to me because they were doing
Their thing.
their public service in the way of raising money
Yeah.
through bingo.
Right.
Well, anyway, I found out a lot of things
Yeah.
that way. And some of the other lodges, the same thing.
Yeah. And then who took over after you? Oh, yeah. Which is,
It's an experience, isn't it?
Today it doesn't look the same as it did when you were doing it, of course. Now we do, for example, our lodge, we have a Facebook person. We have, the podcast we're doing now. So we have all these people in places to do that, along with our newspaper reporters and all the other.
have the
We
app.
just have so much now that little program, back when you were running it in the district, has now just blossomed. And it's blossomed throughout the whole thing. And that's because of you starting that,
Yeah.
getting all those lodges calling and stuff like that. Because I call them up because I do that now. And don't let me call you. Don't let me be.
I don't want to have to call you.
Yeah.
Well, I know when I got up to do the report at the district meetings, because the Arizona folk, they want to make sure that you're doing your job.
Oh, yeah.
And that's one of the other things that you've got to remember as an elk and as an officer, as a member. You have to do your part.
Right.
And as time goes by, in sun and shade, as they say,
Correct.
you begin to want to do your part
Yeah. Right.
when you're really involved. And the what was I going to say?
Oh, yeah.
Relations.
Do your part.
Oh, yes. As I was learning to do my part,
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I don't think we ever know. I think we're always
I
learning.
didn't know what it
Yeah.
all entailed. I
Yeah.
really didn't know, and I had to learn the hard way as it went on.
Yeah.
And,
I was fortunate because I could talk to her.
I know what I was going to say.
So I
because
didn't-
this is my billywhack. I talk.
Your Billy Whack?
This is what I do. I can't knit or crochet. I can't cook.
She can yammer.
I can
One more
talk.
time, Terry. One
So,
more time.
What I was going to say is when I would go to these meetings, and they all cringed when I got up to look and took the mic because they knew that I was going to
Talk.
monopolize it for a while. But the things I had to say, I felt, of course, I got all excited,
Yeah.
like kind of I'm doing now.
We love your energy. You have a wonderful energy.
That's the beautiful part about her.
She does. She gets people going and just like, yes, I want to do.
I don't think
know?
I've ever seen her, and I've known her now for 8 years ever since I've been an elk. And I don't think there's ever been a day that lady doesn't come up. She's got a smile. She
Yeah.
greets everybody. She knows everybody in the lodge. I
Yeah.
can't remember all the names that she knows. I lean over to Kathy and I lean over to her and I go,
Who's that?
who is that?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but you know the trick. Oh, hi, how are you? So good to see you. I haven't seen you in a long time. Where have
Bill.
you been?
Bill.
You know, how have you
Right,
been?
right, yep.
I've learned to do that.
And you know, remind me of your name.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah,
easy
yeah.
to do that.
That's true.
And then I go to the table and I say, hi, how are you? Are you from around here? And they'll say, yeah, I'm a member here.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I haven't seen you here recently. Well, it's true. I haven't been here in about 2 years
Yeah.
or so. So, and then you get this conversation going.
But then you'll see somebody that really shocks me because you'll see somebody that walks in here and goes, well, look who that is. I haven't seen them in about 5 years. And she'll walk right up to them and it's like,
Yeah.
they've
Well-
known each other since yesterday.
Well,
It's great.
we
It's
had
just
a
it's what
relationship.
Elks do.
We had a relationship.
It's what Elks do, though. It doesn't
Well, and
matter
then,
what their lot in life
and
is.
then I meet
Right.
elk members on cruise ships.
Yeah, that one.
That was wild.
Yeah? Oh my God.
That one I still can't get over.
Panama Canal, that cruise,
Yeah.
there were 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 from Bullhead City.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my
And one
gosh.
from Havasu. It was just wild that it was.
That is.
it
What
really
are the
is.
chances? Oh my gosh.
Well, what
That's
else do we got to talk about here?
I think that's it.
You think?
Yeah.
We'll take a good look at that.
Yep. I got it.
Well,
Okay.
I'll tell you, like I say, she's a very special woman
Oh
in this
my
lot.
gosh,
She,
for sure.
everybody loves her.
Yep.
Everybody knows
Well, I
Terri.
don't know.
They do love you.
I don't know.
Everybody in this.
I
I don't
know.
care who it is.
There have been, well,
you emanate what the Elks are
Absolutely.
about. You know, the kindness, the love, the volunteering. I mean, that's why I love being an Elk. The whole thing that
you're going to make me.
I'm gonna make you blush. The whole reason is like it wasn't just a club, you know. It was
Yeah.
that we're doing good in the community, and that's important to me.
But then when you walk into the lodge, don't you feel like you're part of family?
I do.
It's like a safe place.
It is
You've
a
got
safe
all your
place.
friends.
Yep.
Reminds me of Cheers a little bit,
It
you know?
does.
Uh-huh.
That's what I
Yes.
feel like every Wednesday
Yes,
and Friday
yes.
you come in and it's like Norm. You
Yeah.
know?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, my
that's our-
former husband and myself, we traveled to all the Elks Lodges. We visited every
Oh, yeah.
Elks Lodge that there was. If we were passing through, Fred would say, "Is there an Elks Lodge in this town?" And I had a little
Okay.
book, and I would
Oh,
look it up.
nice.
And
Yeah.
yes, and where is it? And we'd call them on the phone, or we'd see the address, and it'd be, well, anyway.
Yeah.
You walk into any lodge, and it's like going to your cousin's house.
Yep.
It is.
Yep.
It really is.
It
You
is.
feel welcome, and so. Well, we're a family.
Yeah,
family.
We're a
Family.
family. We have something in common.
Yep.
Right.
We have something in common.
Yeah, but that's, you know, this year was a real eye-opener for me for that too, because, you know, I've done a lot of traveling this year that I haven't done the previous years, being an Exalted Ruler and being part of the district. I visited all of our lodges in the North District, and every one of them is like you said. You walk in there, they'll either ring a bell, let you know you're here, or they'll just walk around and introduce you to folks and stuff like that. It's a camaraderie that I don't think I ever would have experienced if I wouldn't have been part of this organization.
Right.
I don't think any other organization, whether it be any of the other nonprofits, do the same thing. I think they just kind of come in, they do their thing, and they go home, or they belong to part of something.
Right.
With us, we're part of the community, and we're part of each other.
Right.
And I think that's where these nice little rose-colored glasses, because
Because
this lady has not a bad bone in her body. If you're having a bad day and you want to figure out how to straighten that out, come see Terri. She'll help you, because I'm
Yep.
telling you, this is just a rainbow all by itself.
Yeah.
So for that, I thank you.
Well,
Yes.
thank
I
you.
really do thank you.
You guys are making me blush.
Oh, we're gonna make her blush. Well, thank you so much, Terri, for being here
Absolutely.
for this.
It was a
It's my
great,
pleasure.
it was
Giving
great
us
having
a
you.
window into your background, your life, and being an elk, and what being an elk means to all of us.
Yes. Yeah.
And we certainly welcome
Yeah.
new members all the time to join.
And again, Diane, this is what we talked about when we started this podcast, right? I mean, our first one was kind of introducing ourselves to it, but now we're going to get our members involved, the ones that have been around it. We can have this experience with, and people will know who they are.
Yes.
I think that's just a great, great experience for everybody. So when you see Terri in the lodge, don't forget to come up, give her a hug, because she's a hugger.
Yep.
Don't pick her up off the ground like I did. Have a conversation with her. She'll be more than happy to talk to you. She'll explain things to you. If you want to know something about the lodge or what's going on, I'm telling you, she's a wealth of information, guys.
For sure.
Let's use her before we have to lose her.
No.
All right.
She can be
Okay.
around forever.
With that, we're signing off.
There you go. Thank you.